I'd like to welcome all of the students and family members that are joining us for this student information session. These are very unusual times as we are making plans and decisions for the safe return of students to campus. We wanted to update you on what our plans look like and answer questions that you might have about the process. We want to make sure that our students are safe. We want to make sure that you're healthy, and we want to make sure that you are achieving your goals and your objectives for your career training here safely at OSUIT. I'm going to turn it back over to the moderator now. We've got several speakers that we're going to be introducing, and we're going to get to your questions as well. But again, thank you for joining us for this session, and I hope that this is going to be a great summer term for all of you.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the virtual information session presented by OSU Institute of Technology. I'm Sable Vasquez, the Director of Prospective Student Services, and I'll be your host for this session. We're looking forward to our regular summer semester beginning on June 15th. A lot of preparation is taking place, and we'd like to share those plans with you today. We've been asking our students to submit questions so that we can guide this information session, and we are so appreciative of your responses. Today you'll get all your questions answered, and you'll be able to gather enough information to prepare you for the beginning of the summer semester. If you have any questions during the session, please go ahead and put those in the comment section, and an OSUIT representative will respond to you directly or get you in contact with the appropriate office. So let's go ahead and begin. For our first guest today, I would like to introduce you to Dr. Scott Newman, the Vice President of Academic Affairs. Thank you, Scott, for coming in this afternoon.
Thanks for having me, Sable.
We have a lot of questions have been coming in from students, and one that's really on top of everyone's mind is, what will instruction look like this summer?
Sure. Well, I know there's been a lot of interest in what instruction will look like this summer when things get really kicked off on June 15th. Over the past several weeks, our academic leaders have spent a lot of time coming up with some different instructional scenarios because we didn't know how the pandemic would play out.
Right.
Late last week, OSUIT's leaders selected what we called the essential hands-on instruction scenario to be implemented. And under that scenario, the courses that are already scheduled to be online will continue to be online. Courses that can be delivered online will be delivered online. And the remaining courses, what we've asked our faculty and deans to do is to look at them and determine which portions of them are truly essential from a hands-on standpoint, and to identify how many clock hours it would take for us to fulfill that amount of instruction. Take, for example, a 3-credit-hour theory lab course, which is normally about 75 clock hours during the course of an academic term. If our deans and faculty identified 35 of those 75 clock hours as essential hands-on learning, then those 35 clock hours will meet face-to-face, and the remaining 40 hours will be online. So, for example, the theory portion of the course. Of course, that will vary depending on course and depending on the program. We're currently in the process of updating student course schedules right now to reflect those changes. Students should expect some communications from our schools or programs about that, so hopefully they'll be on the lookout for those changes.
Awesome. So it's kind of like if you're in a really technical hands-on program, you're still going to get that hands-on experience that you need to satisfy your requirements to finish your program. Right. But anything that can be online will be online.
That's exactly right. So the benefits of this instructional scenario is, one, it still allows those critical hands-on learning opportunities to occur. It minimizes the amount of exposure that might be able to happen. It'll allow for those critical sanitization and disinfecting activities and protocols to be met. And it'll more easily allow for social distancing to occur in our different learning areas. Again, the instructional scenario in general is the same, but in terms of how that plays out in each of our academic areas is going to be a little bit different. So anyone with questions about their specific courses or specific programs are encouraged to reach out to their advisors or their school leaders for more information about those.
Okay, so certain courses and programs might have more sanitation protocols or personal protective equipment requirements than others, or how is that? What can they expect kind of for that portion in the classrooms?
Right. So the institution has decided that students will wear face masks within the learning spaces. The minimum requirement is a multi-layered cloth face mask. The reason is we want to make sure that our students and our faculty are as healthy and as safe as possible. Many of our areas already require some form of personal protective equipment, and so that's not going to be unusual for a lot of our areas. Some areas it will be a change. Nevertheless, we want to make sure that everyone is as safe as possible. And we obviously appreciate everyone's patience as we try to bring back some level of face-to-face learning that is so critical to what we do. From a sanitization standpoint, we will be asking students to obviously make sure that they're washing their hands and practicing appropriate hygiene. We will also be asking them to participate in helping us sanitize equipment that they may use or the learning spaces that they may be using in those hands-on instructional scenarios.
Okay, so you kind of mentioned comfort, and we know that everyone has kind of a different comfort level right now. So what would you recommend to a student that wants to come back in the summer semester, but they're kind of unsure about the face-to-face interaction?
Sure. We fully anticipate that there may be some students who, for whatever reasons, may not be totally sure right now about whether or not they want to come back to campus for face-to-face instruction. Obviously, we encourage them to take any online classes that they can, because then that way it minimizes the potential for exposure that way. And the students who choose not to take face-to-face classes this summer, we will fully support that decision. Nevertheless, we encourage anyone thinking about stopping out for the summer term to contact an academic advisor and make sure they really understand what implications that decision may have on their progress, on their plans of study for their degrees.
Right. Our advisors are really important right now with all the different messages that are going out, so that's great. Is there anything else that you want to add just in general about instruction for the summer semester or for your area?
No, I would reiterate that we're all in this together, and if we can all be flexible and support one another and just make sure that OSUIT can return to some face-to-face instruction in the healthiest, safest way possible, I think that'll be great.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Newman. I know that's a lot of information that our students were really looking to kind of get responses about, so appreciate you coming today and sharing that with everyone.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to have a couple of our deans come in to present some information. Our first dean that I'd like to introduce is Christian Bradley, who is the Dean of the School of Creative and Information Technologies. Hi, Christian. Thanks for coming in to talk to us today.
Hi, it's good. We haven't seen each other in a long time.
I know, it's been several months. So you are over the School of Creative and Information Technologies, and you guys have made the decision to go fully online for the summer semester. So what can students expect for the summer term, and then what was kind of the motivation for you to make that decision?
Well, as you know, it's been a very interesting time here at OSUIT and in our school. We have made the choice to move all of our classes in SCIT to online for summer. We were online spring, so we learned an awful lot about online. And as you know, our IT department is already online. They, ironically, only had 3 classes planned for summer on ground.
Okay.
So our IT department had a lot of experience, a lot of background with online that's transitioned over to our CT group. One thing we've learned, the deans have learned in this, is that each of our schools are very unique in how we've had to deal with this situation. Our facilities, our delivery of material, the type of faculty that we have, and the training is different across all the schools. So in our case, yes, we did make the decision to move to online for summer.
Yeah, that probably helps with your information technology students and faculty, that's kind of the world that they already live in. So it wasn't a huge adjustment. I mean, obviously some adjustment for them too, but what about for your other programs in creative technologies? What kind of adjustments are they making?
Well, you're right. The IT department has been a great benefit to us. Those teachers are used to working online. They're comfortable online. They have a curriculum that's built for online. That alone brings lots of templates and documents and talking around the table that we already had for our creative teachers. Remember, these people do share meetings with each other. They're on the same calls. They're in the same room. The students may not know that, but their creative teachers have always been around the IT teachers who were very comfortable in this online environment. So our talking about online environments happened long before this hit. So I think the other deans might be a little jealous that I actually had that in my pocket going into this.
Right.
And yes, I feel very fortunate that we do have those IT teachers to lean on. But you're right, the creative group was an on-ground based curriculum, very comfortable being so, lots of reasons that we were very comfortable with that. And the COVID-19 situation kind of forced our hand to move online very quickly in spring. All the benefits I mentioned with IT aside, we certainly ran into some issues, and just the preparation was very short term. As you remember, going into spring, we didn't have a lot of time. We had to just do the best we did. And I thought we did really well. There were a few complaints from just real obvious situations that we tried to fix as came up. The thing the students missed the most was the engagement with the on-ground class. And I'm talking about the creative technology programs, the 3D
Right.
and the graphic design
Okay.
program. We've gone to great lengths during this extended break to try and address those issues. I've spoken with as many students as I can. We have a group of students that I'm in constant contact with that are giving me feedback on our ideas as we move forward. Again, we're very lucky to have an extended break
Yeah,
to do
nice.
these things.
Right. Mhm.
I don't think a day has gone by where I haven't been in contact with the creative technology teachers and just training and getting our classes ready for summer. So I think our creative technology students, again, that's 3D and our graphic design department, can expect a better scenario than what we had in spring. Again, I was happy with spring considering, but we've improved it. I think they're going to find that there's an engagement level that we've added to the classes, forced into the classes, so that will exist. For instance, our teachers will be online during regular teaching hours, or when those classes were regularly scheduled to be on campus.
Oh, okay.
The teachers will be available during those hours. Our thinking being
Okay.
our students were very used to being on campus during those hours. So if they can participate during those hours, they certainly are welcome to. They don't have to. Their lives might have changed during this time, and
Yeah.
schedules don't mean much these days with regards to when classes meet, but the teachers will be available. And we've amped up the number of virtual hours to try and encourage that engagement with the students.
Great. Well, it sounds like you have a great plan going into summer semester, so I'm sure that information is very reassuring to your students for your programs. Is there anything that you want to add to any students or parents that are watching regarding the School of Creative and Information Technologies?
Just that the staff is now back on campus.
Okay.
Mostly back, we're rotating, but we're back on campus. So I'm on campus, the staff is on campus, everyone the students know in both departments, back on campus.
Okay.
We're still available. So if the students have any questions, they can contact either their teachers, any of the staff they're used to contacting, or myself. They've all gotten emails from me, so they should have my contact. And I think we can answer any questions that they have. I think we're very much ready for this summer, given it's very odd for us. But I think we've had enough time to prepare, and I think the students are going to be happy with what we have ready to go for them.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you again for coming in and sharing the information with us today.
Well, thank you very much.
So next we're going to invite in our Dean of the School of Transportation and Heavy Equipment, Mr. Terrell Lindsay. Hey Terrell, good afternoon.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for being here. Are you ready for a great summer?
I am. I'm ready to get back to what is going to be somewhat normal.
Right.
As close as we can possibly get.
Exactly. So can you kind of tell your students that are watching, your students are kind of coming back for the summer semester a little bit later than normal. Can you kind of let them know what to expect when they come back to their classes?
Well, due to the social distancing and things like that, you can expect to have your classes, your shop classes now put into a blended format. The theory portion of these classes will be delivered online, and then you will have all of the time that's required for your hands-on portions of those classes, so you will not notice a difference in that.
Oh, great. So we've had some students, obviously in your program, students have a lot of supplies and tools that they use, and so they're kind of concerned about when and where do they drop off their tools when they move back to campus.
Okay. As far as the schools are concerned, if you left your tools here, they are still locked up and they're secure. But if you need to drop your tools off, if you happen to be in the automotive program, such as GM, Ford, Toyota, Protec, and Mopar, just simply give me a call, and I will be there on that Sunday on the 14th to take care of the automotive side. If you're in Caterpillar, Truck, Komatsu, or WITA, give Adam Ellis a call, and he'll be on that side of the road, helping you offload your equipment at that point.
Awesome.
Just pull up to the large door outside of your program area, and we will come and get it.
Perfect. Is there anything that you want to express to your students? They've been gone for a little bit longer than normal. Anything you want to tell them before they return back to campus?
Well, the thing is that, we're in a situation that no one wanted, but it's a situation we're in. So we're going to make this as normal as we possibly can. We do expect the very same quality, and I expect my faculty to be delivering the same quality that you expect. So I'm hoping to make this as seamless as we possibly can.
Great. Well, thank you for coming and sharing information with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So next we're going to be talking to Chad Spurlock, who is the director of our Lasso Center. Hey Chad, thanks for coming in.
Hi, thanks.
So can you kind of explain, for someone that's not familiar with OSUIT, we get a lot of new students in the summer semester, what is the Lasso Center?
Okay. The Lasso Center itself is all of the tutoring for campus. We tutor in all the general ed subjects. And then also within the Lasso Center, even though separate in the same area, we have the Office of Academic Accommodations. Through both of those areas, students can come in, they can check out assistive technology, laptops, and various other things. So we're more than just tutoring and more than just accommodations.
Awesome. So for returning students that are familiar with the Lasso Center and their services, what's going to be different for them this summer from what they're used to?
Okay. For the Lasso Center, they can still receive their tutoring. It's going to be through 3 different ways, virtually, by phone, or as permissible in person. They can give us a call at 293-4855, and we can get them set up with the time if they need to come in person. They can also do the same thing by going to the OSUIT webpage and clicking on Lasso. And also, tutor.com is available through their Canvas.
Oh, awesome. So then for students that need to set up academic accommodations, what is that process like for them?
They can reach us by phone, of course, also by email or the webpage. Just click on academic accommodations and we can get everything set up for them from there. All of the forms are now online, so they don't have to come in unless they need to.
Great. Well, thank you for coming and sharing this information. I know that will be helpful for our students.
Sure, thanks.
Next, I would like to introduce Dominic Christensen, who serves as the Director of Academic Excellence and Distance Learning. Hi, Dominic.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks for being here today.
Sure.
So our students have been writing in and submitting questions to us, and there's really just 2 main questions that they've been asking for you to respond to. What is OSUIT doing to ensure the quality of online instruction for the summer semester?
Yes, so we've been working, and the faculty have been working very hard over the last 6 to 8 weeks to get the classes prepared for summer. And since the end of March, we've had a new training series for our teachers called Keep Teaching in Canvas. And that was designed to help those faculty who haven't taught online very often, just to get very familiar with what are the skills that you need to teach effectively online and how to support students online. So a lot of teachers have been coming to get training and ongoing help and consultation. In addition, we've also been going through our classes one by one with faculty to help them organize their curriculum for the summer with some of their stuff being done online and then other stuff being done face to face. So a lot of hard work's been done by the faculty to ensure that the students get what they need.
Awesome. And then we had another question from a student that hasn't taken online classes before, and so they're kind of wondering, like, this is new to me.
Yeah.
What resources are available to help just the online students in their online classes?
Yeah, so I think the most important thing, if you're a student and you're online for the first time, your instructor is the most important person for you to get in touch with. If you have any issues or any problems, if you're not understanding the material, don't wait too long to get into difficulties or fall behind. Make sure you talk to your instructor as soon as possible to get that help you need. Also, even though you're an online student, you have access to all of the campus's resources, tutoring, advising, financial aid, help, library services. So all of those facilities and services are available for you, so make sure that you make use of them. And then finally, I just wanted to say that also, so Canvas, which is our learning management system where you'll be learning, we have 24/7 support with them for students.
Oh, nice.
So if you're having any issues at all with your learning experience and it's the evening, it's the weekend, you can call those guys and they're very good. They'll help you with any issue that you have. And you can get their support number. If you're in Canvas on your homepage, there's a little help button on the left-hand side, and you just click on that, and that will give you the number for them and a chat feature as well. So,
Great. So it's really important for students not to wait too long if they're having issues to go ahead and reach out to someone and get the help.
Please let us know so that we can get you the help that you need quickly.
Yeah, we don't want anyone to fall behind.
Yes.
Good. Well, thanks, Dominic, for coming and sharing that
You're welcome.
information.
Thank you.
Thank you. So next we will be having Ms. Jenny Duncan, who is the Director of Library Services here at OSUIT. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Sable.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So the library is a wonderful resource for our students and for many reasons. And we've had students submitting questions kind of asking different things about library services. So can you kind of talk about how those services might look different or be delivered differently for the summer semester?
Okay. So the library will open with the summer term on June 15th. And we've been working on a reopening plan. So there are a few things that look just a little different. One is the library collection will be closed, and so that'll be the only section in the library that will be blocked off. However, students can still access and still check out library material. However, the librarians will go and retrieve that material for them.
Okay.
And then with our study rooms, those are normally kept open and on a first-come, first-served basis, but we're going to keep those doors closed. And so if they just come up to the circulation desk, then someone can let them in, and then that way we can make sure that area is clean before and after each use.
Okay.
And then with our textbooks, we're going to have those in library use only, 2-hour checkout as we normally do, but we're going to put book jacket covers on those, and that way when they're returned, we'll just remove those and then recycle or discard them.
Okay.
And then with those who prefer not to come inside the library, we're going to offer curbside delivery.
Wow.
And so they can just contact us, let us know what it is that they want to check out, whether that be a laptop, library material, interlibrary loan, and then we'll deliver that to their car.
Wow.
They'll just need to show us their student ID, and then just as they do when they come into the library normally to check something out.
Great. And what about the Tech to Go program?
Yeah, so the Tech to Go the equipment will be available just as it normally is. So for example, a laptop and a hotspot can still be checked out for 7 days. And then we're going to be really diligent in cleaning and sanitizing that equipment when it's returned.
Okay. And then the librarians are a great resource to students, and they're so extremely helpful. So will they still be there at the library and available for students when they need help locating or finding something?
We are.
Okay.
But however, we prefer to do our reference services virtually. And so we'd like to do that via Zoom or email. So if a student has a question about researching a topic, we'd like to do it virtually. However, if their preference is to do it face-to-face, then we'll just do our best to accommodate.
Great. Is there anything else that you want to add about library services and how that will look for the summer term?
And we have other areas that will be available, such as our study tables, the coffee area, our Brody's, and of course the computer lab. And we're just going to do our best to keep those areas clean after each use. And we're just excited about having students back on campus, and we'll do whatever we can to help.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing that information.
Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Agnew. Glad to have you here with us today. Before we jump into your questions, I want to take a second and remind our viewers that if you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the comment section so someone here at OSUIT can respond to you or get you in contact with the right office. So for student services, you kind of have a really large area that you oversee. One of the questions, though, that we're getting from students is, will I have a summer break in the summer term?
Okay, all right. So normally, in our regular summer schedule, we would have a break at the end of the last week of June and the first week of July. But that would be when our summer term would normally begin the first week of May. But because of COVID-19, we moved the schedule back, and so our classes didn't begin the first week of May. They actually began much later, with the classes beginning on June 15th. And so therefore, there is no break. We will, however, have July 4th and the 5th off, but it's going to be straight through June 15th all the way until graduation in September.
Okay, great. And then we had a question asking about if a parent wants to be able to receive announcements and communications from the university, how do they get their email address added to a communication list?
I love that question. I absolutely encourage parents to submit their email addresses, and the best way for them to do that, they can contact us in admissions at 918-293-5121, or they can email us at information@okstate.edu. What we're going to need from the parents is the email address that they want us to append to their student's record. They need to provide us with the name of the student and the student's ID number, not the Social Security number, but the student's actual ID number for the institution. And then we'll get it added to their account, and we'll send out general information to those parents.
Great. So is there anything that you want to add just about services being offered through your area for the summer semester in general?
I would like our students to know that we miss them. We're looking forward to their return on June 8th when we open up our facilities to the public, and then of course classes begin. Move-in is the 14th, classes begin on the 15th. The students can contact us now. We're here. We're responding to emails and phone calls. If they want to do video conferences via Zoom so that they could see us face-to-face, we're happy to do that. I also want the students to know that we have a drop box outside of the Grady Clack Administration Building on the south side, which is the side facing the Millercom parking lot. So if they have documents they want to drop off, they could do that. And I think, too, the other thing I would like for our students to know is that we're going to do everything that we can to ensure their health and well-being. And so all the decisions that we're making are based on them, on putting their safety and their welfare first. And we do have employees that we also need to make sure that we're taking care of. And so while the masks will not be required outside of learning spaces, there are going to be some areas and some people, employees, who will be asking students and guests to don masks because they have compromised immune systems, or they have dependents at home who have compromised immune systems, and we want to make sure that we're taking care of them too.
Right, great. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for coming and sharing that information. Next up, we're going to have Devin DeBach, who is our Dean of Students. Good afternoon, Devin. How are you?
Good afternoon. It's glad to be here.
Good. So I know we have a lot of things actually that we need you to discuss today. So let's start with student safety and health. A lot of students have wrote in and they've asked, will I be required to wear a mask or gloves or other type of personal protection equipment? And if so, will OSUIT be providing those items?
Yes, We will be looking at campus safety, and part of that is including wearing face coverings and masks. So students will be required to provide their own face covering or mask, and then we ask that they wear those when we come into our classrooms and our learning areas. Where social distancing may be of a concern, we will be requiring students to wear those masks. Now, when you're outside of those areas and social distancing still is somewhat of a concern, say when you're coming into commons areas or like in the bursars or over here at admissions in the Grady Clack, then we would ask that students continue to wear those.
Okay. And will OSUIT be providing hand sanitizers?
Absolutely. Hand sanitizer stations have already been placed in some of our larger buildings, and then as more supplies are made available, we'll be adding those to the entryways of all buildings. And in addition to those big stations, we'll also be placing bottles of hand sanitizers in the hallways for classrooms for students to use as they go to and from courses.
Awesome. So what strategies has OSUIT implemented in protecting students from COVID-19, other than what you've already discussed?
You know, that's a great question. And we really look at it as a three-pronged approach. One is planning. Our OSUIT emergency management team has a pandemic response team that has worked relentlessly meeting throughout this crisis as it started and as we've gone through to plan, coordinate, and communicate our university's response and also how we'll recover this crisis to continue going forward to serve our students and our campus community. Our second point that we follow is cleaning and sanitizing. This is a very important part that we want to provide for our campus community, and we have purchased large misters that use a free chlorine solution to sanitize large areas quickly. We also have acquired ultraviolet wands that we can use for high-use computer labs that will expedite the sanitizing of those spaces. And then in addition to those, we've also purchased sanitation carts that will be distributed throughout campus for employees and faculties to use throughout the day, and also for students to help clean those courses and classes while they're there. And then lastly, we've also augmented our custodial staff's schedule to increase the amount of cleaning we're doing, also increase the number of persons who are assisting with that cleaning. And then our third tier is PPE and social distancing. And this being part of our strategy to accomplish safety on our campus means that it is every person's responsibility to help protect one another by following those face covering guidelines and social distancing.
Awesome. So that was one of our questions, is how will OSUIT ensure that social distancing guidelines are kind of met?
Yeah. We were looking at this more of a community approach rather than just saying that you have to that we just say we must and absolutely will force you to do this. Now, we do ask and will require students to wear those face coverings or masks when you're in classroom or lab settings where social distancing is just problematic or could be a concern. And then also that when you are, again, going to those areas that are in common spaces, such as like over in the student union, we have taken the Cowboy Cafe and we've moved tables and closed down booths to accommodate safety between diners as they use those areas as we go throughout our summer semester.
Great. Man, that's a lot of sanitization that's going on across campus. So moving on, I kind of want to switch gears. We want to make sure that we really clearly convey this message, and there's been a couple of other questions about kind of health and safety. So one student asked, will there be a way for students to check their temperatures while they're on campus?
You know, that's one of those questions that I think we hear quite often. And OSUIT absolutely supports the use of screening for those temperature taking. Now, we're not requiring persons to have those screenings done as they enter campus because in a way that can be problematic. Because if you wait till you come to campus to learn if you have a temperature, then if you're infected, then we've already invited an infected person to campus. So that's why we're strongly encouraging not only students, but our faculty and staff also to self-screen and take those temperatures before you come to campus.
Okay. So one student asked, what do I do if I think I've been exposed to the COVID-19 virus?
That's a great question, and I know that's a question that I think every member of our campus community has been asking and wondering. First, let's look at this and understand that you need to have more than just a passing moment with somebody who might have been infected. And to really be of concern that you are at high risk for being infection, you need to be around someone and have prolonged exposure to them. So that means that you need to be either living with a person who is sick with COVID, or you are caring for a sick individual who is positive with COVID-IV, or you have exchanged somehow bodily fluids, say like you were sneezed upon or they coughed right in your face. The other would be is if you've been around them inside of 6 feet without any protective, personal protective equipment, and have been there for 10 minutes or longer, then you become at risk of being exposed. If you haven't really met those requirements, then you're really at a very low risk for exposure, and you're okay to go ahead and come to work or return to school. Now, if you meet one of those requirements where you've been in close contact with somebody who already did test positive, or that you begin to have signs or symptoms of COVID, then we ask you to not come to class. Do not come to campus. Call your academic dean and your faculty members. Let them know that you're experiencing symptoms of COVID and that you're going to seek some medical help. Now, when you seek that medical help, we would like you to go to your primary care physician, your hometown doctor, because that doctor is going to know your history and he'll be in the best position to have that conversation with you about what the next steps for you would be. If you do not have a doctor, we certainly would invite you to contact our OSU Campus Health Services here on campus. You can talk to our campus physician from noon to 1 o'clock and call in at the number is on our website, and that's also 918-293-4946. Please do not come to campus, though. Make certain you call first. When you talk to your doctor, make sure you're sharing with them, of course, what you're feeling, what's going on, those signs and symptoms you think you're being exposed to or expressing, and also let them know where you've been, any travel, and who those other persons that you may have been in close contact with prior to the time that you started getting ill. And then they will work with you on what the best course of action is for you as an individual. And we recommend strongly follow your doctor's advice and take those seriously. Then you need to stay away from campus for at least 14 days or until your doctor has told you that you are no longer at a risk of infection or spreading the disease, and that you're now safe to return back to campus and is willing to provide you with a letter or a note saying that you're now safe to come back.
Right. Good. So will OSUIT be able to offer COVID testing to students?
You know, this is something that we're very excited that, yes, we will be able to offer COVID testing for our students the first week of the summer term. We're working in conjunction with Oklahoma State University's Center for Health Sciences, and we'll be providing this testing for all currently enrolled OSUIT students and employees that first week of the summer, and we'll be excited to share more details about that once preparations are complete.
Awesome. Wow, that's a lot of really great information. So thank you for coming to share. I'm sure it's really reassuring to our students to know all the safety precautions that we've planned for, and we're looking really excited to bringing them back to campus safely. So thank you. I'm going to go ahead and switch gears a little, and next up we will have our Director of Student Union and Auxiliary Services, James Bird. Hi, James. Thanks for dropping in today.
Hi, great to be here.
Thank you. So the Student Union is home to a lot of services for students. It's kind of a hot spot on campus. One of the campus favorites, of course, is the Cowboy Cafe. We all love our food. So some students have wrote in and they're asking, will the Cowboy Cafe and the C-Store be open for service this summer?
Yes, the Cowboy Cafe and C-Store will be open regular hours starting June 14th for the summer semester.
Student Union includes the bookstore, the child care center, health services, as well as the Cowboy Cafe and C-Store. So what other services or what differences have been or changes have been made for the summer semester for those services?
All Student Union service operations will be open regular hours for the summer semester. We are taking precautions and putting social distancing guidelines in place in all our operations. So.
Okay, so they just need to look for to make sure they're staying 6 feet apart when they go to the unit?
Yes.
Okay.
We have floor decals
Oh,
and
nice.
some things that separate our customers from entering and exiting the stores, so.
Okay, good, good. So some students, because food's always on everyone's mind, but students kind of ask, what's a meal plan? How do those work? And then what's a declining balance?
Okay. All of students in our single student housing are required to select a meal plan with their housing contract. We have the options we have a 20 meal per week plan, a 15 meal per week plan that also includes a $100 declining balance with that. Also a 10 meal per week plan that comes with a $100 declining balance. Our traditional declining balance account they can choose is for a full-time regular student on campus is $600 per semester. If you're an intern student, that's $300 per semester. And that's basically a cash account that students can use in any of our food service operations on campus.
Okay, awesome. So if you eat every meal every day, including weekends, then you probably want to pick the bigger meal plan.
Yeah, the 20 meal plan.
Okay.
That's probably what you want to go with.
All right, gotcha. And so if students pick a meal plan, like say they pick the 20 meal plan thinking that they'll eat on campus all the time, and then they realize that they're not going to use the whole thing, what are their options? Do they get a refund for what's not used? Does it roll over to the next semester? How does that kind of work?
Okay, that's a good question. Well, in setting up our meal plans, because we provide those plans at a discounted rate to our students, we're not able to, if the students don't use their meals, we're not able to refund it or roll it over to the next semester.
Okay.
So, and that's pretty much the same with the declining balance. With the declining balance, they have to use the cash account in full by the end of the semester, or that money is lost.
Okay, gotcha. So thank you, James, for sharing that information with us. We look forward to visiting the Student Union this summer.
Well, thank you. It'll be great to have our students back here on campus.
Definitely. So next, I'd like to introduce Matt Short, who is the Director of Financial Aid. Okay, Matt, so financial aid plays a really critical role for a lot of our students. So we're just going to jump into the questions that they've been asking. One student says, I received a refund of cash from OSUIT for something called CARES. Is this okay?
Yes, OSUIT was given federal funding to give to students to help with the expenses related to the disruptions caused by the coronavirus emergency. We have been awarding eligible students and will continue to do so until the funding is gone.
Awesome. So a student has an unpaid balance from the spring, but they still received a refund from CARES. Is that okay too?
Yes, the CARES funds can only be used for cash payments to students. OSUIT cannot keep any of that money from the students.
Okay. And so students can use their CARES fund to pay for whatever they want, tuition, fees, supplies?
They can. If it's intended to make up for expenses that were suffered because of the disruption and the move to online and everything like that. But it's their money. They can use it how they want. If they want to come back and pay an unpaid tuition bill or something like that, or buy supplies or books, they can certainly do that.
Okay, awesome. And then a student received their CARES funding and they're asking that it wasn't actually enough to cover all of their expenses. So is there a way for them to qualify for more CARES funding?
In the next couple of days, we're going to put up a form on our website and that you can use to itemize your expenses. And if you're showing us is actually more than what we already have paid you, then we can look at increasing it as long as we have the funding, because it is a limited amount of money.
Okay, great. So a student has said, I have a non-resident tuition waiver and I was required to live in the dorms. If I move out, will I still get my non-resident tuition waiver?
No, as a condition of the waiver, you may be able to move out of the dorms after 2 semesters, but as a condition of the waiver, you must continue to live in housing if you were required to do so in the beginning to continue to receive the waiver.
Okay, Gotcha. And then a student has received an email from financial aid that says that they were suspended because they're over the maximum time frame. So what, in those situations, what should those students do?
Yes. If you are on warning, you have one more semester of eligibility, and you must improve your GPA or be completing 67% of all classes by the end of that term, or you will be suspended. If you are already suspended, you are no longer eligible for federal, state, or most other financial aid. You have to improve your GPA and/or complete more of your courses to become eligible again. If you believe you have truly extenuating circumstances, you may submit an appeal form to the OSUIT Review Committee. If you are over the maximum time frame, you need to fill out a form and have your advisor sign it and provide documentation from DegreeWorks showing that you still have coursework to take that applies to your program of study. So there was 3 different conditions with 3 similar but slightly different resolutions possible.
Okay, and so for those students that are seeking to file those types of appeals by the due date that's coming up pretty
June
quickly.
2nd.
Okay, so that's tomorrow. So since our offices aren't open, how do they get that paperwork turned in?
There's a drop box outside of the, I believe it's the south door of Grady Clack. You can submit it electronically via the secure upload in the portal.
Okay.
This is the safest and fastest way to do it because these forms are electronic. Next, you can fax it to us at 918-293-4650.
Okay.
So those are the ways we would like for you to submit them.
Okay, and they can always email our offices and ask for that information again. We can
Absolutely, and we can send them a link. In the initial email that they would have received, there is a link to the form on the web.
Okay.
So they can print it out there or just do it electronically and submit it through the secure upload.
Okay, great. So we have one last question from students. We've been asked, when will I get my funds for the summer semester?
Most students will see their first disbursement on July 6th. That's because we're starting the semester so late for most students. It enables us to verify enrollment before we pay funds, which is what we need to do. It's also before the first bill is due for summer, so you're not going to get a late charge because we're dispersing on July 6th. Please allow several days for the bursar's office to process any refunds. We also highly recommend that students sign up for direct deposit. You'll get your refund faster, and it's more secure than checks sent through the mail. There are a few students that started their enrollment on May 1st, and we've already started dispersing those students' funds.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So thank you, Matt. That's really helpful information for our students. We're going to go ahead and introduce our next guest, who is Cammie Crawford, and she is the Director of Student Life. Hi, Cammie. So our students are really looking forward to spending some time in Covell Hall this summer. So they've asked and want to know, will the gym be open for activities?
Yes. As campus opens for student instruction, we will have portions of Covell Hall open for use. We do ask, though, that with our enhanced cleaning protocols and social distancing practices, that the students kind of help out with cleaning the equipment after they use it. We'll have our staff going around, but in the meantime, equipment gets used. So if they could help us clean that, that'd be helpful.
Awesome. And so we had a few questions about volleyball. So I'm guessing that that's kind of a popular activity. But can you talk to us a little about intramurals and other activities that will be offered through the summer?
Sure. Our intramurals for this summer term specifically, were kind of scheduled with that thought in mind that we were going to have to maybe limit some physical contact. And so we've scheduled intramural sports to kind of reflect that. So some to look forward to is we have a cornhole tournament, disc golf tournament, which we do have 9 holes on campus, and then we'll have our on-campus fishing tournaments as well.
So we have a lot of students that might be opting to only take online classes for the summer semester. So what opportunities will they have online through Student Life?
I'm glad you asked, because we do offer specifically programs and events for online students. But the first thing that I would urge them to check out is our online health and wellness webpage. There's at-home workouts with limited equipment, as well as some other wellness and nutrition information on there. So as long as you have internet, which you will with your online classes, then you'll have access to that information. And then the second thing that I'd urge them to get involved in on campus, which will kind of create a little community, is to join our esports tournaments on campus. And so we'll have those throughout the summer semester, and I encourage them to join in on those.
Thanks for sharing, Cami. That's great information for our students to have. And next we will have Bo Hudson, the Director of Residential Life. Hi, Bo. So we've received a lot of questions regarding residential life, so let's just go ahead and jump into those. A lot of students are asking, first and foremost, will residential life and housing be open for the summer semester?
As long as the state of Oklahoma has given us permission to reopen, we will be reopening the residence halls.
Great.
So very excited about that.
Awesome. And then if a student lived on campus before and they're maybe opting to take all online classes for this summer, can they still move into student housing?
Yes, students who are in all online classes can move into the residence halls if they feel they need to. That's not a problem. They just need to let us know if we weren't already planning on having them here.
Okay, great. And so if we get to open, like we're planning on opening to let students move into housing, if the plan goes forward, when will move-in day be?
Move-in day will be on June 14th, starting at 9 a.m., which is a Sunday. Students can move in anytime that day, and if they need more time than that, if they'll just let us know that what day that week they need to move in, we'll work with them on doing that, so it won't be an issue. Luckily, we won't have the normal standard Cowboy up that afternoon. And so people can come in kind of whenever they'd like that day on move-in day.
Okay, but they can't come before move-in day?
No, we won't be allowing people to move in earlier than 9 a.m. on Sunday, June 14th.
Okay. And then if a student was living on campus in the spring, are they required to come back to housing for the summer semester?
If they've completed their contract, a student can choose to not return. But they can also choose to just take the summer off with plans to come back in the fall. They just need to let us know. By this time, anyone that we were expecting to return from the spring semester should be getting a housing assignment letter. If they haven't, we just need them to call us and let us know. They can call 918-293-4939, or they can just email anyone on my staff, and we can look into see why their assignment maybe letter didn't go out or if there was some kind of other issue.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for coming and sharing. That's a lot of great information for our students.
Yep, and I just want to remind all students that are coming back to housing, if they have any questions, to let us know, but we'll also communicate any changes or any additional information they need through their student email accounts.
Right, student email is so important.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bo.
Thanks.
And this brings us to the end of our information session. Thank you for coming along to view the information that we shared today. If you have any questions about the content that we covered today or about something that we didn't talk about today, please make sure to put that in the comment section so that we can get back to you. We want to make sure that our students have the tools to be successful in the summer semester and beyond. Also, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for regular communications and university updates, and go to our website at osuit.edu for program information. We can't wait to welcome our students back to campus, and until then, remember to stay true, and we'll see you soon.
Well, we've covered a lot of great information with you in a short period of time, and I hope that this information session has been beneficial to each of you. I know that we didn't get to all of your questions, and quite frankly, we don't have all the answers to all the questions right now. But if you have questions that are still unanswered, seek us out. You can give us a call. You can visit the website. We've got a list of frequently asked questions there that should be beneficial to you as well. We just want you to make sure that, that you feel comfortable returning either this summer. If not then, please consider returning in the fall. We will be ready to see you. We want you all back in a very short period of time. So from the entire Cowboy family, I want to say stay safe, stay true, and go Pokes.